Well, our next guest is being hailed as a hero for her response both before and after the explosion in Nashville on Christmas morning. She's one of the 6 officers at the scene who knocked on doors and evacuated people just before that bomb went off. She was actually the 2nd person on the scene. Joining us now is Metro Nashville police officer Brenna Hosey. Officer Hosey, welcome to the show, and thank you for everything that you did Christmas morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, as I just mentioned, you were the 2nd person on the scene. You had gotten this call that there were shots fired in the area. Walk us through the moments that you arrived on the scene and what happened and what you heard.
So my partner, Tyler Llewellyn, arrived on scene before me and was checking to see if we had an entry code into the apartment building from where the shots fired call had come from. I had pulled up right behind his patrol car, and then as soon as I stepped out of my vehicle is when we started hearing the announcements of there is a bomb inside this vehicle, do not approach the vehicle, you must evacuate the area immediately, evacuate the building, it is your duty to evacuate, and it was on loops like that. That is when Tyler immediately called our sergeant. Sergeant Miller said, start evacuating people, I'm on my way. And then we got on our talk around channel and asked the other officers that were working that night to come help us block off roadways and to begin evacuating people.
You know, Brenna, one of the interesting...
So what's going...
Oh, go ahead, Sean.
I'm sorry, I just can't... So you were literally listening to a recording saying a bomb's going to go off. What is going through your head?
There were several things. Tyler and I looked at each other like, is this really what we're hearing? Is this real? And then there was a part of me that was like, someone is playing a prank or is trying to start like a purge kind of scenario. But the police side of me was like, I need to take this seriously, even if it is a prank, because who knows what could happen.
And at what point, or was it until the explosion, that you all had information that this was a real imminent threat, that there was a bomb in the vehicle?
We did not have any indication that there was an actual bomb inside the vehicle until it went off. We all stayed away from the vehicle just in case. We also didn't know if the shots fired had come from that vehicle. So we all kept our distance, and then we had called the bomb squad to respond to the scene prior to the explosion. And it really wasn't until it went off that the bomb was a reality.
You know, officer, we all in the military and law enforcement, you train for these instances. It goes off. That bomb went off. It shook you from what I've read. How do you feel today? I mean, I got to be honest. Just reading about what you went through shook me. And what do you feel like today? How has this changed your view on law enforcement? Like you said, you hear crazy stuff all the time. This bomb detonated, caused massive destruction. Once again, show that there are crazy, sick individuals out there. What does it mean to be a police officer right now?
Obviously, it's a scary time just with the way this year has gone and not knowing one day to the next if you're going to be loved or hated. But it also goes to show you that you really have no idea what's going to happen at work that night. I mean, it was Christmas Eve night into Christmas Day morning. A bomb going off in downtown Nashville was the furthest thing from my mind.
You know, one of the interesting things is, as I look at all 6 of you who responded to this, you're one of the people, if I have this right, that has the most experience on the field with just 4 years, 4 of you being under 3 years and 16 months, 21 months, to be starting to just start knocking on people's doors and unsure what their response was going to be like. What was that like for you?
I call it robot mode, but I don't want it to seem like police are robots. It was thinking, I have to be strong for these younger officers. I'm someone they look up to right now, and if I show that I'm scared or that I'm weary of what is happening, then it's going to show to them, and they might start to think, well, should we really be doing this? Shouldn't we be thinking about ourselves? And at that point, it wasn't about us. It was the safety of everyone that was in those buildings and getting them out and evacuated. And our safety comes last at that point.
You know, I got to tell you, 4 or 5 months ago, we started talking about defunding the police and disrespecting police officers. And I listen to what you just say right now. You woke up Christmas morning probably thinking I drew the short straw when it came to,
Shift.
your shift you got. But here you are, running towards danger. A bomb's being told to go off. You've been disrespected, tried to be defunded, and yet you wake up every single day and rush towards danger, and stood brave among your fellow other officers so that they would have the fortitude to continue to do that and protect the citizens of Nashville. So I just got to say to you and to everybody else on that force, especially your 5 other colleagues, God bless you. Thank you for what you're doing. I'm sorry that people say and do the things that they do, but I love the attitude that you and your fellow officers have, that despite all of the talk and the rhetoric and the accusations, you still wake up every single day dedicated to protecting the safety of the people of Nashville and Tennessee. So thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot, and I'll pass that on to my colleagues, and I know they'll appreciate it just as much.
Well, we appreciate them and you. I hope your 2021 is a heck of a lot better than your 2020.
Me as well. Thank you.
Okay.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.